can you tell us something about the history of solar observatories in India?
That's right. India has a long tradition of looking at the sun from the ground. In fact, from Kodaikanal Observatory, we have been observing the sun for more than 100 years. And also we have beautiful, solar observatory at Udaipur, in the lakeside, and at Nainital. We are looking at the sun. But there are limitations of looking at the sun from the ground because you can only see the lower atmosphere of the sun. So this was very, very important that we could go to the space. And this is a fantastic opportunity. Originally, more than 10 years back, we were only looking at a small satellite program. And then Professor U.R. Rao suddenly came up with this idea, why are we taking baby steps? We should think big. We should go to much longer distance. And then this opportunity came in, the Lagrangian 1 mission, the entire country, all the scientific institution got very much highly motivated. There are multiple payloads were then proposed. So eventually now we have a Lagrangian 1 observatory class mission. And as you heard from my colleagues, that it is a multi-wavelength observatory. So that's very important to have the shorter wavelength coverage from the space. And in addition, the ground-based observations are also important. So a combination of the ground-based telescope and the space-based platform is very, very important. And since you asked about the question about the, how Aditya in the overall heliophysics research, within the international scenario, we only have a spacecraft around Lagrangian 1 point primarily from NASA and ESA. So I think, again, this is a fantastic achievement from India. If you could reach L1 with the full observatory class mission, it will really open a new window altogether. So I think this is a great opportunity, and we are all looking forward. And as I mentioned, probably we'll request that, a better ground-based facility. We have already projected a National Large Solar Telescope project from the ground. I think this is now high time we have a very nice ground-based telescope also to complement the capabilities of Aditya L1.
Thank you very much, sir. Indeed, it's a very great opportunity. And now we move on to Dr. Vipin K. Yadav. So you're in charge of the magnetometer. What is the contribution of magnetometer to Aditya program?
You see, the magnetic field measurements are very crucial in space, and especially at L1 point. What we are going to measure with magnetometer is the interplanetary magnetic field that is coming all the way from Sun and towards the Earth. So typically these values at L1 point are around 5 to 10 nanotesla. But these values increases whenever there is an extreme solar event, such as the coronal mass ejection or say solar magnetic storms. Now these events are crucial to monitor the near Earth space weather because these events are crucial to Earth. If you remember Quebec, there was an event when the power lines were snapped a few years ago. That was because of an extreme solar event. So to keep an eye on the surroundings of Earth, we need these measurements. And apart from that, for solar wind observations also, these measurements will be crucial. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. So now we move on to Dr. Anuj Nandi. So what is the importance of solar flares and the impact in heliospheres? And how does Aditya L1 contribute to all of this?
Good afternoon, viewers. As my colleagues already pointed out the importance of this mission and the instruments about. So the thing is, as you know, that solar flares are the energetic and explosive
And now I'd like to go back to Dr. Anil Bharadwaj. So there are many satellites that are sent to the space by other nations. So what makes Aditya L1 different from these satellites?
Well, that's a very good question because first of all, let me again tell you that India will be the third, or ISRO will be the third space agency to have a mission at L1 point. And I just mentioned that it is multi-wavelength, multi-instrument, and multi-direction, and it measures particle, field, and radiations. So you don't have such kind of satellites existing at L1 point so far and currently. That makes Aditya L1 absolutely unique because we are going to measure remotely, in situ, and particles and fields. I was also mentioning about multi-direction, and that is coming from the ASPEX payload, which stands for Aditya Solar and Particle Experiments. And this is going to measure particles ranging from 100 EVs going to several MeVs, which is essential for us to know because when the CMEs are happening or the sun is quite angry, the plasma which is coming out from the sun ranges from several EVs to several MeVs. And therefore, we should know in what direction the plasma is coming and whether the plasma is getting accelerated in between when it comes from sun towards earth. And therefore, there is a multi-direction information which is available from the ASPEX payload because it consists of two sensors, SWIS and STEP, essentially giving you in two different energy bands. And therefore, we'll be able to quantify the CME, CIRs, and all the processes which is happening on the sun, which gives out coronal mass ejections. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your remarks. And now finally we move on to the principal scientist, Dr. Sankara Subramaniam. So how does the Indian science community seek to capitalize on ISRO's space capabilities, especially these observatory missions like Astrosat and Aditya L1?
Yeah, so now ISRO has established that it has a capability to send observatory class missions anywhere in the interplanetary medium. ISRO also is developing capability for small satellite missions like a nanosat, CubeSat, as well as the small satellite capability. That is something which especially a heliophysics community could utilize it because we can, at a low cost, we can launch many more such instruments which are essential for heliophysics community here in India. So, and also the bigger mission takes its own life cycle because it requires technologies to be developed for a bigger missions. So in between these big missions, if we capitalize on these small satellite missions, and that will enhances the science capability of our country to the next level. And as you know, the science and technologies are always synergized. As the technology improves, your science improves. When I started my career in solar physics, I started with a photospheric magnetic field. Now we are in a position where we can do coronal magnetic field with Aditya L1, which was not feasible when I was doing my PhD. So similarly, as we move on and as the technology starts to improve, we would be able to generate much more capable instruments, much more compact instruments, which will enable us to do much more science than what we can currently do. So we look forward to capitalize on ISRO's capabilities, both at the large scale as well as at the small scale instruments, and also its capability for developing new technologies in the near future.
Thank you very much, sir. That was very interesting. And to end this, I have a last question to Dr. Dipankar Banerjee. And it's about what kinds of outreach is possible through this launch to energize the scientific community.
This is a very, very important question, and we are proud to be Indian now after the Chandrayaan success. I think it's just not the students, it's the entire country is excited. And we got this opportunity to now travel towards sun. So it is very important that the younger generation, comes into the research and also utilizes the data. These scientific missions are for the community, and it has to be the community driven. So some of our scientists, who have been engaged with this mission for decades, we understand what is expected to be, this data. But the younger generation, they need to be trained. And so for that reason, we also have a Aditya support cell at Nainital. and we are going around in the country. We are regularly conducting workshops. So through these workshops and training program, we really want to reach out to other, people who are particularly in the universities or IITs, because they have so far not been directly involved with the Aditya mission. So I think we are really, really going out, and we expect that the youngsters, the next generation will come and utilize this data, because the data is for the community. So unless, we have more users, we will not be able to effectively utilize the data, scientific data which is coming, and the way we can help the community at large. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
I think it is very important for us also to reach out to schools and colleges, because the younger generation should be told about this kind of activities which is happening in the country. Chandrayaan-3 launch has galvanized the whole nation, and everybody is interested to know what all is happening in the science and technology within the country. And therefore, this mission, along with the Chandrayaan-3 mission, that is the Aditya mission and Chandrayaan-3 mission, is going to give us a lot of new information which is going to be very beneficial for the country. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you everybody for participating in this discussion. And now we move on to the control room.
Thank you, Srinidhi, and I thank all the panelists for enlightening us about the high-tech science that Aditya L1 is about to do.
जी हाँ, अभी आपने सुना इसरो के तथा अन्य संस्थानों के वरिष्ठ वैज्ञानिकों ने हमारे बहुत महत्वपूर्ण सवालों के बहुत ही रोचक उत्तर दिए हैं। इस दौरान चतुर्थ चरण के बर्न 1 को कंफर्म किया गया है फिजी टेलीमेट्री स्थित स्टेशन से। इसमें यान में होने वाले त्वरण के बदलाव को मापा जाता है और इससे पता लगाया जाता है कि यान के इंजन में शुरुआत हुई थी या नहीं, और इसकी पुष्टि कर ली गई है। लेकिन अभी भी यान हमारे दृष्टि से बाहर है, हमारे ट्रैकिंग रेंज से बाहर है, लेकिन इसकी यात्रा अभी जारी है। और अब हम स्क्रीन पर देख पा रहे हैं, यह पूर्वानुमानित पथ दिखाया जा रहा है। यह अनुमानित पथ है। ग्राउंड स्टेशन से पुष्टि होने के पश्चात यहाँ पर इसकी पुष्टि की जाएगी। आज 11:50 पर प्रमोचित हुए PSLV C-57 रॉकेट की यात्रा अभी भी जारी है। प्रथम, द्वितीय तथा तृतीय चरण के सामान्य कार्यकाल के पश्चात इन्हें यान से पृथक कर दिया गया था। और फिर
टर्मिनल acquires telemetry signal.
जी हाँ, इसकी पुष्टि हो गई है। शिपबॉर्न टर्मिनल से हमारे यान को ट्रैक कर लिया गया है।
At present, ground trace and FPD are updated based on real-time data.
अब हमारे ग्राफ को वास्तविक समय से दिखाया जा रहा है। यह वास्तविक डेटा है जो अब हम देख पा रहे हैं।
Welcome back to the live coverage of PSLV C-57 Aditya L1 mission. The launch took place at 11:50 hours Indian Standard Time from the second launch pad at Satish Dhawan Space Center, Shar, Sriharikota. The first, second and third stage of the launch vehicle have performed normally, and the launch vehicle was in the no visibility range for the ground tracking stations. Shipborne terminal in Pacific Ocean has started to acquire signal 51 minutes into the flight.
अब कुछ ही क्षणों में हम चतुर्थ चरण के पुनः प्रज्वलन को देखेंगे।
In the past 26 minutes or so, the ground trace for the flight was being updated by extrapolation.
Fourth stage engine started for band 2.
यहाँ अभी रेंज ऑपरेशन डायरेक्टर ने इसकी पुष्टि की, चतुर्थ चरण का प्रज्वलन शुरू हो चुका है। यह पुनः प्रज्वलन है PS4 का कोस्टिंग फेज के पश्चात। यह वास्तविक समय पे हमें यहाँ आंकड़े उपलब्ध हो रहे हैं क्रूज स्टेशन से।
Very happy
Fourth
piece of
stage
news here.
performance normal.
Range Operations Director has confirmed the second burn commencement for the PS4 stage. Around 14 more minutes to go for the spacecraft injection.
जी हाँ, अभी भी लगभग 14 मिनट बाकी हैं हमारे अंतरिक्ष यान आदित्य L1 को अंतक्षेपण के लिए। आपकी जानकारी के लिए बता दें कि इस कालावधि जब अंतरिक्ष यान या हमारा यान हमारी दृष्टि से दूर हो जाता है, इस कालावधि में ग्राउंड स्टेशन की दृष्टि से बाहर जा चुका होता है और यान के ऑन बोर्ड कंप्यूटर पर टेलीमेट्री स्टोरेज पर यान के महत्वपूर्ण आंकड़े सेव किए जाते हैं। जब यह हमारे तय ग्राउंड स्टेशन की रेंज में आते हैं तब इन आंकड़ों का प्रसारण होता है और वहां से इनकी पुष्टि की जाती है कि यान इस दौरान किन गतिविधियों से गुजरा।
Fourth stage performance normal.
The fourth stage performing normally. The second burn is expected to last for 472 seconds.
यह चतुर्थ चरण है PSLV XL रॉकेट का। इसमें 2.5 टन के नोदक का इस्तेमाल हो रहा है। यह तरल नोदक हैं। इसमें 2 इंजन लगे होते हैं, हर एक 7.33 किलो न्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न करता है। इस तरह कुल प्रणोद 14.6 किलो न्यूटन का होता है।
Plus 55 minutes.
इस प्रज्वलन काल में इसे 472 सेकंड तक प्रज्वलित रखा जाएगा। वरिष्ठ गणमान्य व्यक्ति यहाँ उपस्थित हैं।
We are close to 55 minutes 30 seconds past the launch. PS4 stage currently burning for the second time.
Fourth stage performance normal.
Intended trajectory closely matching prediction. Presently, the shipborne terminal is acquiring the signal. Few seconds later, there will be another no visibility phase before Koru starts to acquire signal.
जी अभी द्वितीय बर्न चालू है PS4 स्टेज का। अभी कुछ 200 और सेकंड चलकर यह शांत हो जाएगा। सूर्य एक बड़ा और हमेशा से एक समीप का सितारा रहा है हमारे लिए। असल में यह गर्म आग का गोला है जो अनगिनत हाइड्रोजन एटम्स के फ्यूजन रिएक्शन से ऊर्जा प्राप्त करता है और इस ऊर्जा से इस सौर मंडल को एक परिवार के भांति समेटे हुए है। पृथ्वी से सूर्य की दूरी लगभग 150 मिलियन किलोमीटर है। सूर्य ही हमारी ऊर्जा स्रोत है और इस जीवन जो हम जानते हैं उसका भी स्रोत है।
Loss of signal for shipborne terminal. The next telemetry station is Kuru. The telemetry signal break will be approximately 205 seconds. During this non-visibility period, ground trace and flight parameters will not be updated.
यान फिर से अंतर्दृष्टि हो चुका है, हमारे ट्रैकिंग रेंज से बाहर है। अगला ट्रैकिंग स्टेशन कुरु स्थित फ्रेंच गयाना स्थित कुरु स्टेशन से हमें आंकड़े उपलब्ध होंगे कुछ ही समय में।
After being injected into the space, the Aditya L1 will not travel directly to the L1 point. Transfer maneuvers will be performed to position the spacecraft in a halo orbit. Aditya L1 will first be made to perform maneuvers in Earth orbit. Adjustments will be made in its orbital parameters. After ascertaining the normalcy of the craft, its systems, payloads, and the orbital parameters, burn to exit Earth's sphere of influence will be initiated. After exit from SOI, the cruise phase will start and subsequently the spacecraft will be injected into a large halo orbit along L1. The total travel time from launch to L1 will take about 4 months for Aditya L1.
इस दौरान आइए आपको अवगत करा दें आदित्य L1 के मुख्य उद्देश्य से। आदित्य L1 मिशन का मुख्य उद्देश्य है सौर गतिविधियों के विभिन्न पहलुओं में महत्वपूर्ण जानकारियां उपलब्ध कराना और इन गतिविधियों का अंतरिक्ष मौसम के असर का अध्ययन करना। इस कार्य के लिए इसमें 7 भार लगे हुए हैं जिनकी मदद से आदित्य L1 फोटोस्फीयर, क्रोमोस्फीयर और सूर्य के बाहरी परत के विभिन्न वेवलेंथ में प्रेक्षण कर सकेगा। विशेष वैज्ञानिक उद्देश्य इस प्रकार हैं: सूर्य के ऊपरी परत जिसे हम कोरोना के नाम से जानते हैं इसके गतिकी का अध्ययन करना, क्रोमोस्फीयर और कोरोनल तापमान, आंशिक रूप से आयनिक प्लाज्मा की भौतिकी, कोरोनल मास इजेक्शन की शुरुआत और फ्लेयर्स का अध्ययन, सूर्य के कण की गतिशीलता के अध्ययन के लिए आकार प्रदान करना और यथास्थिति कण और प्लाज्मा वातावरण के प्रेक्षण करना।
+1 hour.
वर्तमान में आरओडी ने घोषणा की अब चतुर्थ चरण को बंद कर दिया गया है, उसका थ्रस्ट कट ऑफ कर दिया गया है और वह बंद हो चुका है और इसकी भी पुष्टि हो चुकी है कि आदित्य L1 के अंतक्षेपण की स्थितियां प्राप्त की जा चुकी हैं।
We are now eagerly awaiting the injection of the satellite as we have the confirmation from the Range Operations Director that the thrust cutoff for 4th stage of PSLV has been achieved. We are 1 hour into the flight.
हमको तो ऐसा किसी ने नहीं सिखाया, किसी ने नहीं सिखाया। विजय भैया ने बस मुझे प्रीमियर
कुछ ही क्षणों में कुरु स्थित ग्राउंड स्टेशन से इसकी पुष्टि की जाएगी।
मुझे जो चीज नहीं आती थी मैं वो चीज पूछता था, हाउ इज पॉसिबल, मतलब ये चीज कैसे होगा, मैंने खुद पूछ के सीखा। उन्होंने अपने
Highly anticipated event next
ऐसा होगा, ये ऐसा
is the separation event of Aditya L1 spacecraft.
मतलब जहाँ तक मुझे अगर 4 से 6 चीजें मैंने मुझसे पूछी ये आया, इसका टाइम नोट करते हो? देखना है, ये नोट करना है। ये करो, नोट इज नॉट ठीक, बट लोगों की कंफर्म
यान अपने निर्धारित कक्षा की ओर
अच्छा बोले कि मैं
प्रशिक्षणों में इसकी पुष्टि होनी बाकी है,
क्योंकि एक अटेंडेंस शीट है यहाँ पे,
यान से
सिस्टम में अटेंडेंस शीट है।
अंतरिक्ष यान आदित्य L1 का सफलतापूर्ण अंतक्षेपण अभी बाकी है।
जिस दिन लेट आएगा तो उस दिन
For Aditya L1, ISRO has developed advanced flight dynamics software to obtain past trajectory data from tracking, apply mathematical computation to calculate present and future location of the spacecraft in a process known as orbit determination. But the correct orbital parameters at the time of injection are of prime importance.
अब तक कुल 22 और मिशनों को नासा, ईसा, जर्मन
Aditya L1 satellite separated.
और जिसका इंतजार था वह पल आ चुका है, इसकी पुष्टि कर दी गई है। आदित्य L1
Aditya L1 mission accomplished. Handing over to mission director.
And we have a confirmation of Aditya L1 separation. The mission has been accomplished.
जहाँ
PSLV-57 has injected Aditya L1 satellite into the desired intermediate orbit. PSLV-57 Aditya L1 mission is accomplished.
आदित्य L1 को पूर्ण परिशुद्धता से इसके निर्धारित कक्षा में स्थापित कर दिया गया है। इसके बाद वह अपने आगे की सफर जारी रखेगा L1 पॉइंट के लिए।
Do join us for the address by Chairman ISRO Secretary Department of Space Shri S. Somnath.
सभी दर्शकों को शुभकामनाएं और बधाइयां इस मिशन की सफलता के लिए। अब हम आपको लिए चलते हैं अध्यक्ष महोदय के एड्रेसिंग के लिए।
Congratulations. The Aditya L1 spacecraft has been injected in an elliptical orbit of 235 by 19,500 km, which is intended very precisely by the PSLV. Very unique mission mode here, with the upper stage of the PSLV taking 2-burn sequence for injecting the primary satellite for the first time. So I want to congratulate PSLV for such a very different mission approach today to do this mission of Aditya L1 to put it in the right orbit. Now, from now, the Aditya L1 will take its journey after some Earth maneuvers. It will start its journey to the L1 point, a very long journey of almost 125 days. So let us wish all the very best to Aditya spacecraft for its long journey and being put around the halo orbit of L1. So with me, the mission executives are there. Mr. Biju, the mission director, and Nigar Shahji, the director of the satellite project. So let them join me. Our Honorable Minister of State for Science, Technology and Space is here, Dr. Jitendra Singh. So I request him to speak a few words.
Congratulations, India. Congratulations, ISRO. And while the whole world watched this with bated breath, it is indeed a sunshine moment for India. Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, for making this happen by opening up new vistas for India's space sector and telling us that sky is not the limit. Thanks also Honorable PM for
राशन पहुंचाने के लिए एयर ड्रॉपिंग की भी सलाह दी है। वहीं मणिपुर के चूड़ाचांदपुर और बिष्णुपुर जिलों के बॉर्डर पर 19 अगस्त से शुरू हुई हिंसा अब भी जारी है।
the enormous potential of our space fraternity.
बीते दिनों में
Ladies and gentlemen, Indian scientists had been working, toiling day and night.
बीते दिनों में 8 लोगों की मौत
together. But now comes the moment of vindication.
बीते दिनों में 8 लोगों की मौत हुई है।
The pledge to the nation.
मणिपुर में
coming close on the heels of successful Chandrayaan 3 landing. The successful launch of Aditya L1 is also
मणिपुर में कुकी और मैताई समुदाय के बीच 3 मई से हिंसा मणिपुर में कुकी और मैताई
while ISRO is credited in executing
मणिपुर में
this
कुकी
mission,
और मैतेई समुदाय के बीच
science institutes across the country have come forward to contribute in one form or the other
3 मई से जारी
in
हिंसा
small
में
measure or
160
big
से
to this mission. To name a few, the Indian
से
Institute
ज्यादा
of
मौत हो चुकी है।
Astrophysics, Bengaluru, the National Aerospace Laboratory,
3 मई से जारी हिंसा में
Tata Institute of Fundamental Research,
3 मई
Mumbai,
से
the Nijri, NGRI, Nagpur, the IIT, Kharagpur,
3 मई से
IIT
जारी
Madras,
हिंसा में
IIT
160 से ज्यादा मौतें हो चुकी हैं।
Delhi, IIT
सुप्रीम
Mumbai,
कोर्ट
and the list is too long. But
केंद्र ने
that,
सुप्रीम
having
कोर्ट को
said that,
523 एफआईआर
gives
दर्ज
me
की गई
the
हैं।
confidence to say
केंद्र ने सुप्रीम कोर्ट को
that this
523
day,
एफआईआर दर्ज
the 2nd of
केंद्र ने
September,
सुप्रीम कोर्ट को 523 एफआईआर दर्ज की गई हैं। इनमें से 19
we move on into the next 25
केंद्र ने
years
सुप्रीम
of
कोर्ट को
Amrit Kaal,
523 एफआईआर दर्ज
and
की
Mother
गई हैं।
India pledges with the collective will,
इनमें से 19
collective
केस
effort of our 140
इनमें से
crore
19
children
केस महिलाओं और
to
बच्चों की
reach
हिंसा
and
से जुड़े
occupy
हैं।
the place of pride on the world pedestal. Congratulations once again, Chairman Somanath, entire ISRO team.
केंद्र ने सुप्रीम
May I request the project director of Aditya L1, Nigar Shaji, to say a few words.
Good afternoon. It's
केंद्र ने सुप्रीम कोर्ट को 523 एफआईआर
Aditya L1, and I'm extremely happy that Aditya L1 is injected in the intended orbit.
केंद्र ने सुप्रीम कोर्ट को 523 एफआईआर दर्ज की
As always. And Aditya L1 solar panels are
केंद्र ने
deployed.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट को 523 एफआईआर दर्ज
And Aditya L1 has started its 125 days of long journey towards the L1.
की गई हैं। इनमें से 19 केस महिलाओं और बच्चों की हिंसा से जुड़े हैं। राज्य में
The trans L1 injection, and finally
राज्य में हुई हिंसा मामलों की जांच
CBI
ने
L1. Once the Aditya
राज्य
is
में
commissioned, it will be an asset to the heliophysics of the country,
राज्य में हुई
global scientific fraternity. And I take this opportunity
राज्य
to
में हुई
thank
हिंसा की मामलों की जांच सीबीआई ने
Director URSC, former
53
Director
अफसर
URSC, and all the
सीबीआई के
standard
53 अफसर हो
directors
चाहे तो
for their support
ले
and
लीजिए।
guidance for making this mission possible.
राज्य
And
में
my thanks are due to my project
राज्य
team
में
and all the project executives across the center.
राज्य में हुई हिंसा के मामलों की जांच पर
from the IAA and IUCA for the relentless effort
सीबीआई के
to the payload as well as the spacecraft. And
सीबीआई के
my
53 अफसर
My special thanks to the expert committee who have been guiding all through the entire
राज्य में
and I thank all the industrial partners
राज्य में हुई हिंसा के मामलों की जांच सीबीआई के 53 अफसर कर रहे हैं।
their invaluable contribution.
इनमें 29 महिलाएं भी शामिल हैं।
Honored and privileged to be part of this mission, and at this juncture I like to remember
2011 की
Professor U.R. Rao, who sowed the seed for this
2011 की एक याचिका 2011
Thank you all.
Sri Biju, the mission director and the project director of PSLV.
2011 की एक याचिका पर फैसला देते हुए सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा कि
My big salute to all
राज्य
of
में
you
हुई
for
हिंसा
achieving
मामलों
this
की
wonderful
जांच
mission
राज्य में
of
हुई हिंसा की
Aditya. We have injected Aditya in its intermediate orbit.
3 मई से जारी
PSLV
हिंसा में
in its,
160 से ज्यादा
59th
मौतें हो चुकी हैं।
mission has
केंद्र ने सुप्रीम कोर्ट को 523 एफआईआर दर्ज की गई हैं। इनमें से 19 केस महिलाओं और बच्चों की हिंसा से जुड़े हैं। राज्य में हुई हिंसा की
the challenging
मामलों की
requirements
जांच
given by
CBI
satellite team was indeed very indeed it was very challenging to meet the orbital requirements. We have gone for a new mission design strategy. We have gone through numerous simulations to validate this, and that is the proof that you are having now. I take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for achieving this wonderful mission. I take this opportunity to thank all my review forums,
राज्य में हुई
chairman
हिंसा
and
के
members of all review
राज्य में हुई
forums,
हिंसा के
and our
मामलों की
industry
जांच
partners
CBI
for
ने
giving
राज्य में
reliable systems for PSLV and all our family members. With this, our
राज्य
capability
में
of
हुई हिंसा
PSLV
के
has
मामलों की
increased
जांच पर
manifold
राज्य में हुई हिंसा
to venture into new missions, to new and challenging missions.
राज्य में हुई
I
हिंसा
take
के
this
मामलों की
opportunity to
जांच
thank my
CBI
project
के
team
53
led
अफसर
by
कर रहे
our
हैं।
Sri
इनमें
Anjalal as
29
well as
महिलाएं भी शामिल हैं।
Damodaran, Vehicle
2011
Director
की
and
एक याचिका
Associate
पर
Vehicle
फैसला
Director
देते हुए
in
सुप्रीम
leading
कोर्ट ने
the
कहा कि
entire campaign. I wish our satellite team an excellent time ahead for completing all the operations and completing all scientific objectives they have envisaged.
अवैध शादी से जन्मे बच्चे
Thank you everybody for
अवैध शादी से जन्मे
spending your time watching this
राज्य में हुई
mission,
हिंसा के मामलों की जांच
and also
CBI के
supporting us
53
and
अफसर कर रहे
congratulating us,
हैं।
and we
इनमें
joined the entire
29 महिलाएं भी शामिल
country.
हैं।
We are very proud of the
2011
fact
की
that
एक
we could do this mission, Aditya L1 mission, just following the
2011 की एक याचिका पर फैसला देते हुए सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा कि अवैध शादी से जन्मे बच्चे
and the rover are still functioning.
वैध माने
And
जाएंगे।
our team is with the scientific instruments doing a lot of work now. And the good news is that
वैध
the rover
माने
has
जाएंगे।
moved almost 100 meters from the lander. And
माता पिता की अर्जित संपत्ति के साथ पैतृक संपत्ति भर भी पैतृक संपत्ति
in the coming 1 or 2 days
वैध माने जाएंगे। माता पिता की अर्जित संपत्ति के साथ
we hear about them later.
पैतृक संपत्ति भर भी
I'd like to say big thanks to each one of you for the support and encouragement.
पैतृक संपत्ति पर भी उनका अधिकार होगा।
Continuing the work of building the very strong space
ऐसे मामलों में
capability for India,
ऐसे मामलों
which will be becoming the one of the strong pillars of science and technology for this nation. And thank you so much for the contributions once again.
ऐसे मामलों में बेटियां भी प्रॉपर्टी की बराबर हकदार होंगी।
Next mission from Satish Dhawan Space Center. Thank you.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट का यह फैसला इसलिए अहम है क्योंकि वाइड और वाइडेबल साजिश पैतृक संपत्ति पर भी उनका सुप्रीम कोर्ट का यह फैसला इसलिए अहम है क्योंकि वाइड और वाइडेबल साजिश क्योंकि वाइड और वाइडेबल शादी से संतान पैदा क्योंकि वाइड और वाइडेबल शादी से पैदा संतान को क्योंकि वाइड और वाइडेबल शादी से पैदा संतान को अभी तक अपने माता पिता की स्वयं की अर्जित संपत्ति में अधिकार मिलता था, लेकिन अब पैतृक संपत्ति अभी तक अपनी माता पिता की स्वयं की अर्जित संपत्ति में अधिकार मिलता था, लेकिन अब पैतृक संपत्ति
This is the 59th mission of PSLV, and
लेकिन पैतृक संपत्ति में नहीं।
So this is the 30th year of PSLV. So it's PSLV is on the threshold of Shashti Purti with the next making 60. I wish all the very best to the satellite team, all payload
देश भर में अगस्त 2023
operation of the payloads and satellite in coming days. And
देश भर में अगस्त 2023 करीब 122 साल बाद सबसे सूखा और गर्म महीना रहा। इस महीने सामान्य की तुलना 36% कम बारिश हुई है।
आपके बिल्कुल नजदीक हो रहा है, साथ में एक जबरदस्त इनॉग्रेरल ऑफर भी है।
मेकिंग चार्जेस पर पाइए
मौसम
भारी
विभाग के
छूट
मुताबिक
और लाभ उठाइए कल्याण स्पेशल गोल्ड रेट का कंडीशन सप्लाई।
तो आइए आप अपना आशीर्वाद दीजिए। कल्याण ज्वेलर्स अब
साल 1901 में इससे पहले कम बारिश हुई थी। साल 1901 में इससे कम बारिश हुई थी। अगस्त की सामान्य बारिश 254 अगस्त की सामान्य बारिश 254 254.9 मिलीमीटर है, लेकिन इस बार केवल 161.7 मिलीमीटर हुई है। एक देश एक चुनाव पर कमेटी बनी, बीजेपी को
Making a presentation, we request you to please take a seat here in front, and thereafter Space Angel Australia and SCBR in Australia.